Hey, it's Trey with the Trey Brews channel. We've got in this box here a pumpkin ale by Great Fermentations, and they say it's like liquid pumpkin pie. So everybody likes pumpkin pie during the fall and at Thanksgiving. So hopefully they like the beer as well. So first things first, it comes with a set of instructions. Double-sided sheet of paper with the boil schedule, all of that information. We have pumpkin ale steeping grains and the grain bag for that. We have two Pilsen Light pure malt extract, and each one of these is 3.3 pounds, so we got two of those. We have 0.8 ounces of glacier hops, and actually one thing I forgot to have out is something new to me. This is Imperial brand organic yeast, and this one specifically is their flagship product. So we're going to keep this in the fridge, but that's everything we've got. We're going to put everything eventually in this 6.5 gallon carboy, and then you'll see in the back in that kettle we've got exactly 4 gallons of water coming up to about 155 degrees. Okay, so also with this kit is a bit special because it does use pure pumpkin. So we have 15 ounces of canned, all natural, no preservatives pumpkin, and a grain bag for that, so it'll steep in here by itself with the grains when the grains steep. And 10 minutes left into the boil, we'll have all of these spices measured out and dropped in. So the spices include ground ginger, pure vanilla extract, ground nutmeg, pumpkin pie spice, and ground cinnamon. So we'll have all of those measured out to what they need to be, and then again that goes in at 10 minutes left into the boil. Alright, so we're sitting at about a constant 150 degrees. So again, we want this between 150 and 155 degrees. So here we've got our dripping pumpkin. Drop that in there, put it through here, and our steeping specialty grains drop in here as well. So again, both of these bags go in at the same time, and we will start a timer for 30 minutes on my microwave over here. Just simply steep them and don't let them scorch on the bottom. Steep them for 30 minutes and then we'll come back and take them out. Alright, so we got 20 seconds left in steeping both the pumpkin and the grains. So I'm kind of going to pick both of them up. I've been stirring them off camera every few minutes, but the last few minutes here, or last few seconds rather, I wanted to give them a good stir too. So once I remove these, there's the end of that timer. Once I remove these, I'm going to turn the heat up, get it up to where it starts to be at a rolling boil, and that's when we'll add in the malt extract, and actually off camera as well. I'm going to get my sink, get some warm water in there, and sit that malt extract in there so that it kind of loosens up, becomes thinner, and then that's actually when we'll add it in here. Okay, so the wort is getting close to a boil. We've got our firm cap here, and we have 4 gallons of wort. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feels a little odd there at first, but 8 drops of those. You do 2 drops per gallon, and we have 4 gallons in here. So this prevents boilovers, simply put. And we're about to add the malt extract, which can cause a boilover, so that's why we did that. So we heated up the malt extract in the sink with warm water, so it's thinned out quite a bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and start pouring some of this in. And now for the second batch of the extract. And one thing about this liquid malt extract is a lot of it does stick and remain inside of the canister that it's in here. What you can do is, because it's going to be sanitized during the boil, you can actually dump this entire canister into the wort to get some of the hot mixture into it. It'll loosen up the coating that's inside, as you can see. It'll loosen that up because it's so hot, as I just did. Swirl it around a bit, and then dump it back in there. You want to get as much of this in there as you can, because basically this is the sugar that the yeast is going to eat to produce alcohol, so that's going to get you as close as you can to the original recipe provided. So all of it's added in here. I'm going to continue stirring, bring it up to a boil, and once it is boiling, we will add in the hops. Alright, we're going to start a 60-minute timer. I'm sorry, not 60 minutes. 45-minute timer to remind us of when to come back for the Irish moss. So we've got our glacier hops, drop them in, a little stir and keep an eye on it, make sure there's no boilovers, but just leave it here, leave it boiling, get everything mixed in, let the hops get into the wort, and we'll come back when we add in the Irish moss. Then 5 minutes after that, we will add in the spice mixture for this specific beer. Correction to the last clip, I said we were adding Irish moss. We're actually trying something different called Rollflock tablets. It's basically the same thing, but it's a tablet like this, instead of that Irish moss that you have to rehydrate and everything. So this works, this one tablet works for 5 to 10 gallon batches. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it in. Interesting, fizzed up a little. And I already set the timer so that we'll come back in about 5 minutes, and that's when we'll add in the spice mix, which goes in at 10 minutes left into the boil.
Here is a picture of each spice that will be used in the spice mix that we drop in at 10 minutes left into the boil. So again, we have ground ginger, pumpkin pie spice, ground nutmeg, ground cinnamon, and pure vanilla extract. So below each spice or the extract, I will put how much is in the mix and in measurements of teaspoons. So if it's half a teaspoon, I'll just put half below each spice or the extract. And then here's a second picture just showing what the spices look like inside of the little bowl that I put them in.
Alright. Gonna reset a timer for 10 more minutes. We've got our spice mix, which I showed. Put all that in. And then I left the vanilla extract separate so that it wouldn't be all clumpy, but we do half a teaspoon of this. Whew, that's more than half. So, there we go. I'd say we did about a half a teaspoon of that. So, timer's still going for 10 more minutes left in the boil. Just stir this in a bit, then we will get this chilled. We're approaching the very end of the 60-minute boil. Gonna give it one last stir here. Got 10 seconds. So what I will do is find the hop bag. It's floating back up to the top here. Let that drop all of its last liquids out. And I'll set these hops aside. And then my sink is down here. I'm going to get this cooled down as quick as I can to 65-ish degrees. Get everything sanitized in the meantime in my bottling bucket down here. And get it in the fermenter. And try out this new yeast we've got. And don't forget to turn off the heat. Alright, so looking at my kettle markings, I'm at about 3.5 gallons or so. Got some ice stuck on the bottom of this. But this is chilled down to 65 degrees. Whoops. Get my funnel here. This has been sanitized. Everything that's going to be touching the wort has been sanitized. I've got 2 gallons, 1 and 2 gallons of nearly frozen water. So I'm going to add to the fermenter as well. I said we had 3.5 gallons of wort, but it may have been a little less, so I'm going to go ahead and add 2 gallons, because I know that with moving to secondary and bottling, we're going to lose a little bit of that wort. So at the most we'll have 5.5 gallons, but I'm guessing it'll be closer to 5.25, which will be just fine. So we'll get all this added in here, pitch the yeast, and then get it set up in my office where I keep all of my brewing beers at. Actually, before we add the yeast, we're going to aerate the wort. Silly always gets confused when I do this, but we just need to get a lot of oxygen into this wort here. So we'll do this for about 2 minutes, and then that's when we'll actually pitch the yeast. Okay, so again we have the Imperial organic yeast here. My hands are sanitized, and the can here is sanitized. So pour this in. The camera woman's laughing at me. That's nasty. Let me grab a spoon I had here. Okay, this spoon has been sanitized as well, so it kind of just says pour it out as I had, but the last remaining part you can get in there with the spoon. You can go ahead and stop it. Alright, last step here. We've got all of the yeast in here, but I want to shake it up one last time just to get the yeast all mixed around in here. Alright, the quality and lighting may look a little weird. I have my flash on because the lighting in here is horrible, which is part of what makes it good for brewing. But anyway, on the left here, well, in the center now, this is the pumpkin ale I started. See a lot of sediment down there at the bottom. It's just dropping over time. It's been about 30 minutes since I started, so that will eventually be just a few centimeters or so at the bottom. But anyway, we've got that set up here. Since this is such a large carboy, I just used the airlock at the top instead of doing a blow off. So we'll come back in about 6 or so weeks, taste this, review it, and let you know what I think. Until then, subscribe, check out my website at treybrews.com, which will be in the video description, and I'll also put a link to where you can check out this kit on Great Fermentations website. Thanks, guys.